Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Yo, what up, Fight World? Hold on 1 second, yo. Hold on 1 second, yo. Joseph Seller, bro, your equipment like always malfunction. Don't watch the video. Leave the fucking channel. How about that? These dudes always be complaining. Shut up. Don't watch my shit. How about that? One second, yo. I'm trying to figure out something. Why is it doing that? Hold on 1 second. One second, yo. Yeah, smash the like button. We'll get started shortly. All right. We back with it. Let's get it. Hold on 1 second. You see how they be hating? They're like, yes, you're always malfunctioning. Don't watch my videos. That's just a simple way. Well, like, people act irrational and shit. Like Golden Boy, they just did a live stream. The whole fight went out in the middle. And y'all mad because I had an issue. Technical difficulties. Stop. Yeah, we working. Massive risk. Commiserate. Man, come on. Let's get it. All right, man. Y'all know what it is. Let's jump to it. Eddie Hearn did an interview with the Boxing Voice. Shout out to them. Some good questions were asked of Eddie Hearn. I did a video about it. Check the link in the description of that video. Eddie Hearn was asked about Tyson Fury's comments about him or his fighter Dillian Whyte being a coward for not fighting Luis Ortiz. So he goes into this long-winded spiel about the confusion, how the WBC made a mistake with Dominic Brazil and Dillian Whyte. And ultimately, he kind of got lost in the middle. He tried to justify Dillian Whyte not fighting Luis Ortiz by saying we would have had to wait 2 years to become Wilder's mandatory. Right? And he also said that a fight with Luis Ortiz for Dillian Whyte is risky. He said it's risky, but it holds no value. Stop it. When is everyone gonna understand that the army is here? The army is among us. Eagles Army, gang, like new media. You can't just try to say whatever to the public and expect that to fly. You know what I mean? People throw shit on the wall to see if it sticks. That stuff is done. You know what I mean? Nobody believes you anymore. Like nobody believes that like see. You know what the funny thing is I noticed about this game? If y'all want to know the funny thing I noticed about the game, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? I'm going to tell you a little bit about these politics. If y'all want to know the funny thing about this boxing game and the politics, all of its politics, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? Listen, this is what's funny. We know we live in a world of A side, B side in boxing. Cool. There's going to be one guy who's probably more popular than the next guy. It's rare that they have exactly even popularities. We get that. We understand boxing is a business. But the funny thing is, it's like almost a manual or manuscript where they have a handful of excuses why promoters, I'm talking about promoters, fighters, this is not any one person. This is in general. In boxing, something I noticed. There's like a manual or manuscript that they stick to with a handful of excuses why your popular fighter should not fight the guy who's a very good fighter, but maybe not as popular. Has anyone else noticed that before? You know what I mean? It'll be like, I'll give you some excuses for dummies, if you will, as it relates to boxing. It'll be something like, this guy's boring. He's a runner. He doesn't sell tickets. Nobody knows him. Right? He's never sold out a stadium. He's never made this type of money. He hasn't fought anyone. Look at his resume. Right? Now, the funny thing about this is this. When the traditional excuses don't apply to a certain fighter, then they have to delve deeper into another set of excuses. Like the common one is, oh, he's boring, he's a runner, nobody wants to watch his fight, he's not entertaining, yada, yada, yada. But when that rule doesn't even apply, they just go into their other bag of tricks. Like, this is the main bag of tricks, then they go to the other bag. We all know that Luis King Kong Ortiz, he's Cuban, And he's not a boring Cuban. We know that Luis Ortiz is out there smoking fools like Newports, like a pack of Jacks. We know these things. So promoters and fighters and everybody, they can't use that against Luis Ortiz, talking about entertainment factors and value. Oh, Luis Ortiz, he puts me to sleep. That's what they want to do. A lot of times to minorities, black fighters, and a lot of times to these Cubans. That's what they do. They say, oh, he's boring, he puts me to sleep, and when my kids are restless, I fight to this Cuban fighter, all this bullshit, right? They can't do that to Luis Ortiz because he's out there, he's a killer. You know what I'm saying? He's out there smoking dudes. So what do? They revert back to some other, oh, he's old. Who cares? Listen, if he's 99 years old but he's thumping, who cares? If he out there holding his own, Floyd Mayweather is, see, y'all got to understand, there's a difference between old and boxing old. Like Floyd Mayweather is not old as a person, but some people would say for boxing, he's boxing old, right? But all this old shit is also predicated on how you fight. If you fight with some damn sense, you have a defense, you're a universal, like more of an all-around fighter, you have a longer shelf life. Guys like Brandon Rios, Ruslan Provodnikov, very fun to watch. Entertaining as fuck, right? Shelf life, not so much. Because fighting like Francisco Vargas and Orlando Salido, that's why you see these guys get their ass whooped by somebody and then retire on the spot, like Orlando Salido did. And, you know, and maybe come back and say, you know what, I jumped the gun, I'm going to keep fighting. Right? Because it's emotional. And they're like, damn, I can't take a punch no more. You know what I'm saying? When's the last time you seen a highly technical guy take a loss and then quit on the spot? You know what I mean? Or even the next day, you know, like Lucas Matisse or somebody. How he lost to Pacquiao and a day later he quit. When's the last time you seen a technical guy do that? Like, you can't say Bernard Hopkins because we knew he was quitting. Joe Smith Jr. was his last fight regardless. He told you that. Somebody said Vivian Harris. Listen, for every technical fighter you name, I can name 2 or 3 that aren't technical that quit on the spot or quit like immediately following a bad loss. So when it comes to Luis Ortiz, you can't use the traditional, oh, he's a boring Cuban, he runs marathons, all this bullshit. You get what I'm saying? You can't use that. So now what they do is, oh, he's an old man, he's a geriatric, he belongs in senior citizen. You know what I'm saying? It's all excuses as far as I'm concerned. All excuses. I told you, I don't care what anybody in this boxing game has to say about Luis Ortiz. If you're in or around his division and you want to be highly critical of him, if you're not going to fight him, or if you're not a fighter, like you're a promoter or a trainer, then if you're not going to put your heavyweight that you train or promote in there with Luis Ortiz, then I'm not trying to hear it. It don't matter what you talking about. Shout out to the Boxing Voice. It said new media. I don't know if that's the official page, but shout out to the Boxing Voice. They did an interview with Eddie Hearn, you know, and it's just we can't use these excuses any longer. These excuses about why this fighter don't deserve a shot when, see, like, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. Yeah, y'all gotta support the Boxing Voice too, because they out there putting in the work on the East Coast, putting in work, asking good questions and stuff like that. Shout out to my guy Ness, Aaron, all of y'all. But anyway, the thing is, I didn't start this. This was a hobby for me, you know, boxing, like covering boxing, or like I didn't know what to expect. I just was always a fan, so I just end up, you know, trying something out, like this YouTube shit, try my hand at it. And luckily, thank you to the fans, it stuck. It worked. They cared about my opinion, the insight, how the channel was ran, all that, right? So we elevated and we grew with the sport. But at the core of this, I'm not one of these other motherfuckers who, like, I'm just gonna tell you straight up. Some of these motherfuckers at boxing events, they know what's going on in boxing because they write articles and stuff like that. But they clearly don't. They're not boxing. Like they weren't fans of boxing. Like, and I can immediately tell who because of what they say. You know what I'm saying? I started off as a fan. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, but I started off as purely a fan of this sport. You know what I'm saying? And then I parlayed into a situation where I started covering it, you know, and got into deep. Some of these motherfuckers, you could tell they like UFC better, or tennis, or golf, or, you know what I mean, wrestling or some shit. And then maybe they just started working with someone because they kind of like boxing. I'm not a kind of like boxing type of motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I didn't kind of just like this shit. I remember classic fights and remember where I was and how I felt. I remember watching pay-per-views with my brother. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I speak. That's why I'm the people's champ, because I speak on behalf of the people. That's why no matter what anyone says, you can say, oh, like, people always, they say stuff like, I did a video about this Luis Ortiz thing that Eddie Hearn said. And this guy was like, yeah, oh man, Ego, you're killing your channel with your bias. Bro, stop it. The only way that works on beta males, somebody who's insecure. I'm not insecure because I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And what I'm doing, I'm destroying them. So that's not going to work on me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I have this thing called YouTube Analytics. It shows me. I could break it down per week, per month, per tri-monthly, you know, annually. I could see where I'm at. And I see the growth. I see Ego's army getting stronger. So save it. If you think you're going to just come up here and discourage me with some bullshit, at least make it sound like something that's true. You can't say I'm killing my channel because I'm so biased, but my channel is reaching astronomical numbers. The pay is getting bigger. Ego's army is getting stronger. You're not going to convince me of that. That's what you feel, but it's not the truth. So at least if you're trying to scare me into thinking your way, which is never going to happen, but if at least try to make it reasonable. Don't tell me I'm so biased, I'm killing my channel, and my channel is growing at a rapid rate. It doesn't even make sense. That's like somebody having the #1 album and you're like, oh, your album is not doing well. People know. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Let's get it, man. Chesamine, £2 super chat, showing a little love for the channel. Shout out to you. I see your comments in the comment section, and you always represent boxing. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second, yo. But the bottom line, what I'm trying to make is this: as far as this boxing game, I'm not a new booty boxing fan where I just I did luck my way into the game, but not like some people. Like, I was always about this boxing life. You know what I mean? But beyond that, you're not going to be able to convince real boxing fans of these weak narratives that they want so bad for boxing fans to believe. Like, I don't care who's mad. Manny Pacquiao ducked Terrence Crawford. Him, his team, somebody in his team, Michael Conks, Freddie Roach, Pacquiao, somebody in his team, right, did not want to fight Terrence Crawford. Therefore, the fight didn't happen. Right? There's so many different elements and ways you can prove it. Right? People get mad when you say these things, but it's a fact. Pacquiao's a legend. Pacquiao's a good fighter. And Pacquiao also avoided Terrence Crawford. The thing is, you're not going to be able to challenge or like sway the opinion of real boxing fans and make them believe some false narrative. Same thing with Luis King Kong Ortiz. I don't care what Eddie Hearn says. I don't care what Eddie Murphy says. I don't care what Eddie Munster says. You know, Ed McMahon. I don't care what nobody named Ed is saying, unless they put their fighter in there with Luis King Kong Ortiz. So the whole world could be against me. This is how I operate. The whole world. They could say, oh, you're full of shit. Luis King Kong Ortiz is garbage. I don't care. Then it's me against the world like a Pac album. That's just what it is. I'm not letting somebody dictate my future And I'm not letting someone dictate how I think. And when I know the truth, I know Luis King Kong Ortiz ain't as bad as you say. I know Deontay Wilder ain't as like sloppy and weak and not a threat as what you trying to make it out to be. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's either going to be Ego's army or it's going to be everyone disagrees with me against the world. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. But at the end of the day, I'm not letting somebody try to brainwash me into believing some shit that I know not to not be the case. You know what I'm saying? It could be Edward Norton, Fight Club. I don't care who's talking about it. If you're not trying to put your fighter in there with Luis King Kong Ortiz, don't try to convince me that he's not a good fighter. Oh, but he's 86 years. Well, you need to 86 him and get him out of here by beating him. Simple as. So Eddie Hearn doing these interviews and trying to act like, oh yeah, Dillian Whyte, there's no value. Oh, but Lucas Brown has all the value. That's why. Listen, it's a wrap. You can't just say whatever in boxing anymore. I'll make sure of that. Me and the army. You know, how you gonna say like I like Dillian Whyte too, for the record. I think he's a good fight. I'm not saying he absolutely wouldn't fight him, but his management don't look like they want to make the fight. I don't know what Dillian Whyte wants to do in that situation, right? Because he doesn't really talk about Luis Ortiz too much. You know what I mean? I think I have one video that I seen where he talked about him. But beyond that, you letting people talk on your behalf, and it's not a good look, because what they're saying, the world knows it's not true. Talking about Luis Ortiz has no value to Dillian Whyte. Let's break this down and unpack it. Giancarlo Turan, $5 super chat. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Let's unpack this. This is why when people have man-fan casual way of thinking, this is why they can never beat what we do over here, Ego's army. This is why they can never trump us. And I ain't talking about Donald. This is why they can never trump us. Bars, let's get it. It's simply because they do not employ any logic. Even the points that they make or try to make, you could use their own logic against them. You can't use my logic against me, because what I'm saying is absolute fact and or opinion based on fact and shit like that. You know, it's not like some way off narrative. You get what I'm saying? That's the difference. Hold on, y'all. Shout out to Ebong. $5 super chat. Ego, enjoy the channel. You gonna be charged with murder by the way you killing these haters. And man fans, keep it up. Hashtag man fans down. I like that. Man fans down. I like that. Yo, y'all gotta smash the like button. Give it up one time for the one time. We run boxing. Let's get it. But you can't use the opinion. Shout out to Aaron. Air Show Sports. It says this ducking wasn't allowed in the 80s and 90s when the heavyweight division thrived. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And if it did exist, like Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, then people would call it out what it was. They wouldn't just, oh yeah, Riddick Bowe, why should he fight Lennox? Well, I mean, I know they fought in the Olympics, but in the amateurs, but they should let this build and fight other guys. Fight Soda Pop-ins, and nobody was doing that. Not to this degree. Shout out to Lamar, $5 super chat. Here it is, Ego. Ask the fanboys out there, if Wilder and Ortiz is so weak and easy work, have AJ or Whyte clean house, and if not, stop talking shit. Listen to the army, man. I told you, Cash Money is the army, better yet the Navy. You brothers showing out with the super chats, man. Much respect due. But see, you only get that when it comes to resonating with the people. People ain't gonna reach into their wallet if you talking bullshit. Even if they like the bullshit you say, if they don't believe it, they're not gonna reach into their wallet and support that. That's the reality of it. Like, okay, if I know someone's a con artist, I'm not gonna just reach in, oh, here's $20 to support your fuckery. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna do that. Tyson Holyfield kind of had the same controversy. No, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Tyson Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Tyson, these fights had bigger issues like different networks and shit. I don't know about now with DAZN and all this shit, but at one point Showtime was showcasing Joshua's fights and they had a long existing relationship with Wilder. So that wasn't an issue, networks. It might be an issue now with DAZN, I don't know, but it wasn't, you know what I mean, before the DAZN shit. When they could have fought. Shout out to Air Show Sports, $3 super chat. We winning. You guys know. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to convince us. They could do all the damage control. Anthony Joshua's on the undisputed belt tour. I mean, that's fine. How are you on the undisputed belt tour, but you're not challenging to be undisputed? You only have, and that's the saddest part about this game. If something happens in this Povetkin fight and or with Wilder's fight, then you guys took this opportunity and squandered it. And I can't even say you guys. Team Joshua took it and squandered it. You know what I mean? Shout out to Alexander Wilson, $2 super chat. Riddick Bowe, Duck, Lennox, Lewis in the 90s. Yeah, but people called it out. He's throwing his belts away and shit. You know what I mean? I never said nobody's been ducked. You know, some people argue Leonard and Pryor or something. But at the end of the day, my thing is it wasn't running rampant. And see, maybe it's because you didn't have the power of social media to hear what these promoters were saying. So maybe like the damage control and stuff wasn't as in your face. Now you got to adjust with the times, you know? Like, what would I look like if I went into the gym to work out and I had a Discman? Does anybody remember Discman, where you put the CD in? You know, it has a little lid. You put the CD in. What would I look like if I had a Discman going into the gym and my fucking CDs is skipping and shit? You got to keep up with the times. And right now is new media time. Right now social media is big. You know, these guys' YouTube channels are big. There's people in your face with cameras. So you got to be held accountable for what you're saying. Discmen are dope. You would look like an OG. Hell no, you wouldn't. Your shit skipping like a rhinestone cowboy. Like. I would look like a fucking idiot. You all tripping, trying to gas me up, so I fuck around and go in there, and then women don't look the other way and shit. Y'all trying to psych me out. I'm in there. You been hit by. Like, what the fuck is wrong with your songs and shit? You been hit by smooth criminal. You been hit. Y'all trying to have me all the way fucked up. Yeah, man, this man are real cool. You should do it. Like, fuck that. Y'all trying to set me up. Bitches in yoga pants looking at me. I'm all, you been hit by. And it okay. Oh yeah. They're like, motherfucker, is your music okay? The remix you do it. Music, are you okay? Are you jealous? Is it okay? Juvin. Yeah, I don't know. Hell nah, y'all trying to gas me up to do some stupid shit. Sarah Valdez, stop. But anyway, man, you're not going to be able to convince me that Luis Ortiz ain't a good fighter. I don't care what nobody's talking about. Like, and again, I'm not saying he's invincible. You know, he 38, whatever. He's definitely not invincible. But you got to prove what you're saying. Like, okay, in what arena do two people exist and claim to be the best or claim to have the best, but they're not willing to challenge? Like, it could be something. Anybody from Texas? Anybody from Texas in this chat right now? It don't matter if you live there now, if you're originally from Texas. Anybody from Texas? Shout out to Jose de Jesus, $5 super chat. Ego, keep your foot on their neck. We got your back. All right, Tony Snowflake from Texas originally. Gang. Shout out to Texas. They do everything bigger. I went to Texas this year. One thing these Texans is doing, and I'm just going to tell you, that was my first time really being in Texas. Like, not like a layover, like just where I get to go around the city and shit. These motherfuckers can cook. Barbecue, like, it's just ridiculous. Just if you don't know what I'm talking about. So like, if you skinny, you scrawny, and you want to get fat, if you want to just pack on some extra calories, go to Texas, because they gonna hook it up. I ate some ribs. The shit. Hold on. I ate these ribs, and I went to lift it up, and it was like sliding off the bone. I'm like, how y'all got that slide though? How y'all sliding my shit though? I went like that to get the shit started sliding. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, okay, you just gonna slide off the bone. That's what you telling me, huh? Hey, this shit, the rib, hey man, I'm from the Bay. The shit was sliding, like it just fell off the bone, like it just gave up. You know, it's like a girl that she wants you so bad, her sexual interest is high, the panties just drop. The shit just slid out. Oh shit, just gonna slide off the bone. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to catch it. The shit was so delicious. I don't know what they did, what they put in the barbecue sauce. Like, listen, Texas tried to turn the boy out. I went to this Aero Spin shit, and I left the restaurant. I'm talking about, man down, I'm full, man down. Like, I was about to get a grill and shit. Texas tried to turn the boy out, man. I was about to be sitting on Duvals. I was about to get that candy paint, all tight, chopped and screw, all that, right? Sliding off the, so I'm making myself hungry and shit. But okay, Texas, they could cook. Everything is like, you know how they say everything's big in Texas? These motherfuckers wasn't lying. Everything is big. I went into a Ross. I thought it was the mall. Like, I thought it was like a Ross, and then you go through, and then it was just all Ross. All Ross. It was huge though. Like, what the fucking fitting rooms look like the Playboy Grotto and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Where I'm from, all people do go to Ross to like steal and shit. I'm like, you got this big ass store, you making it easy for the criminals. Yeah, I know they ain't got a camera on in every corner. Big ass. Texas just got shit. It just be big. I don't even know what it was. Like, it is like Burger King or something. It'd be like a real castle. Like, y'all doing too much. Like, why'd you have to make that Burger King into a true castle? This shit. I'm like, damn, have it your way. I want it my way. That shit was just fucking big. Like I'm talking about, like, the structure of the buildings were big. Anywho, the bottom line is Texas got that credit when it comes to food. If there's two Texas barbecuers or barbecue places, and they say, I got the best ribs, I got the best barbecue, I got the best chili, what do you do to settle it? You have a cook-off. A cook-off. That's how I got the best homemade barbecue sauce. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? Even like, let's say you can bowl and someone else can bowl. What do? You bowl against the person, see who gets the most strikes and who has the highest score, right? Even in like the 80s, when motherfuckers had beef, it's not these like mumble rappers on perks and shit shooting and stab. They would dance. They had a dance off. Do 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 do. Yeah. Hey, you really comfortable with your masculinity if you have beef with a dude and you have a dance off. Like, that's hard. That's crazy. I told you couldn't beat me. You do 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 do. Oh, you think you can dance? Hey, that's hard. Like, oh, you thought you was better than me at this shit? Like, hey, bro, you tripping? Do 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 do. Like, didn't they have in the Michael Jackson the Beat It? Didn't they have knives and then do 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 do? Like, I would just stab you. Like, there ain't no dancing to it. Song over, motherfucker. I'll be like, do 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 do. Shank. Do 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 do. $1.50. Hit you Riverside, motherfucker. I ain't gonna be dancing to sweat. Do 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 do. Hey, Mike was a bad boy. You ain't bad. You ain't nothing. Hey, if you got beef with a dude, you just say you ain't bad. Like Mike is a G. You ain't bad. You ain't nothing. I ain't never been so mad at a dude. I said you ain't bad. You ain't nothing. I'm about to. Jamal, you ain't nothing. But my point is, we got to get back to that competitive streak. Not every fight's gonna be the mega fight of the century. Yeah, Wesley Snipes was in that movie. Good pickup. But even people who, if you think you're the best chef and they think they're the best chef, you have a cook-off. You know what I'm saying? When did we fail in boxing, a fighting combat sport, where the fans is making excuses for these best versus best scenarios to not happen? Mike B, the one that put the satin on your panties. What's up, love? How you doing? Well, I've been hanging, slanging. Joshua, the type of dude that eats ribs with a fork. Hey, hey, you tripping? That man, y'all be paying to roast people. Let me read this. Y'all tripping. Mike B says, Joshua, the type of dude that eats ribs with a fork and knife. This is how a gentleman eats ribs. Bum will get exposed soon. Hashtag new media. Hey, y'all out of pocket of shit. He said he eat ribs with a fork and knife. Hey, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. Like, they ribs, motherfucker. I be having ribs all in between my teeth and shit. But yeah, it's like everyone's like okay. Just really analyze what I'm about to say as a consumer. As a consumer, Eddie Hearn has a product for you. They just did the presser for Demetrius Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders. That's a good fight. Great fight. Nobody's complaining about that. Nobody's saying Billy Joe Saunders ain't this and that. And nobody's saying that about Andrade. People just bow down. Even Victor Ortiz versus John Molina fight got announced. Not hearing anybody complain, because where they're at in their careers, that's a solid fight, should provide action. Danny Jacobs' fight just got announced official with Sergey Derevyanchenko. Great fight. Nobody's complaining. Who's treating, let's say, Demetrius Andrade or Billy Joe Saunders or Daniel Jacobs, Sergey Derevyanchenko? Who's treating them like Anthony Joshua right now? Like, if I go to Daniel Jacobs' thing right now, they ain't gonna be like, yeah, motherfucker, Jacobs, I don't give a fuck about cancer and all that. You need to fight. They're not doing that because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. This is his fourth fucking undefeated fighter. Let me break down the bars for y'all. See, y'all ain't ready for the bars. Y'all ain't ready for this uncut, raw, that puro, that pure uncut. Daniel Jacobs, I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. That man is fighting his fourth undefeated fighter. Gennady Golovkin, undefeated champion, still undefeated until he fights Canelo in the rematch. I think he might lose. Triple G, and he arguably beat him. I was at the fight. Luis Cuba Arias, undefeated and ranked. Then he fought Madge Selesky, who knocked out the guy that Charlo just knocked out, Hugo Centeno Jr. Shout out to my dude, Hugo Centeno, and he was ranked. And it was an eliminator. So Madge Selesky. Now he's fighting a guy Triple G didn't want to fight. Sergey Derevyanchenko. Probably because he didn't want to spoil the Canelo payday and look bad, look vulnerable, and or lose. Because Sergey Derevyanchenko has an amateur background. He has good power. And it should be a good fight. Hold on. Let me get to the super chat and I'm going to resume this Daniel Jacobs shit. D Bevel the Champ, $5 super chat. Watch Joshua call himself undisputed after beating Dillian Whyte for his WBC silver title. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly. Hey, D Bevel be tripping. All right, so Daniel Jacobs, you don't see him receiving any. When Charlo was like had stuff to say about him, he pulled up. Daniel Jacobs, the real one, he pulled up. You know what I mean? You could take whatever you want from that interaction, but he still pulled up. You're like, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm not worried about it. You know what I'm saying? He's like, what we doing here? Like, what we doing? I mean, we just doing the Twitter thing, like, pulled up. And then now he's fighting a fourth undefeated fighter. Much respect. That is the miracle, man. You always have a fan in me. Period. Hey, don't block shooters. Don't block Craig. Don't block him. All shooters stand down. I got a hot seat. I'm a body this man in front of y'all. Listen, Ronald Finkley, I just said don't block the man. Y'all gotta listen up. Ego Army, we can't have, I'm gonna have to start stripping privileges. I gotta get one. Y'all gotta listen to the orders, you know what I mean? The general, because we have to make an example out of one of these dudes. Just put him, untime him. I'm about to destroy him. Just listen. I know y'all got to listen. Let's for a shooter. Here's a new shooter rule. If somebody says something crazy, unless it's like stupid racist or something so crazy, if it's just like a crazy point of view that no one believes, count to 25 or something before you block them. Because more often than, see, this is why I don't want the shooters to have itchy trigger fingers. Because this is why. These dudes are fucking retarded. They're going to hang themselves anyway. So just give it a chance. You know what I mean? Because I don't want them to dictate when. But if I see enough of the dumb shit, then I'll call them out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they're going to hang themselves anyway. So it's just a matter of time. Just be patient. When's the last time you met a troll, they just left one comment and then they never said nothing else crazy? They don't. So you know they're going to say something. You know they're going to do something else stupid if they're saying the stuff he just said. But anyway, Daniel Jacobs, he has a fan in me because of how he's moving. You know? Fighting for a title again. Arguably beat Golovkin. You know, and this is we got to get back to boxing. Triple G didn't want to fight Sergey Derevyanchenko. For whatever reason. And that has to be telling. Because Sergey Derevyanchenko, he could have been Vanis Martirosyan. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he would have got knocked out like that, but I'm saying instead of fighting a guy at 54 or 54 pounder off like, just come on, stop the bullshit. You fought a 154 pounder off a 2-year layoff. That's not by design. And then you gonna claim you saving the Mexican dates. You should have just saved the date by not fighting. You save everybody's money. If you really want to save, man, fuck saving Cinco de Mayo if you're not putting on a fight that, you know what I mean, has a chance to really live up to something. You know what I mean? And that's what they said. They like, oh, yeah, Canelo failed a drug test. We get it. He failed drug test. He fucked up. But you act like you doing boxing a favor by fighting a guy who's really no match. Especially, he probably wouldn't be a match even if he had a tune-up or two. Just because, you know, Golovkin's a good fighter and it's a new weight class. And he does have to shake off ring rust, you know? But he would have at least had a better fighting if he had a full camp and shit like that, you know, and wasn't on a 2-year layoff. See, this is what these motherfuckers do, old media. But I don't forget. They say, oh, they think, listen, I'm going to tell you how the game goes. Hold on, listen. Let me see where the likes are. Man, I'm sick of dropping this game for free. I mean, we got a lot of super chats, so it really ain't free. But we got to get them likes up. Hold on, where we at? Okay, we got over 100 likes. We need to push for 150. We've been on long enough. We should be getting close to 150. Smash the like button. I'm going to drop some gems real quick. If y'all want me to drop that gem, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? All right, check it. Check it. We about to drop some gems. Okay. Oh yeah, we working. I like this. I mean, they're not gonna pull the wool over our eyes. We're not having it. So Triple G fought Vanis Martirosyan, and that could have been Sergey Derevyanchenko, but it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And you making it like you did boxing a favor by fighting a fight that we know. But here's the games. This is the games they try to play. I'm gonna show y'all. You know, old media, a lot of times they don't like certain fighters, minorities, and the black channel, like, you know, all that shit, right? They don't like certain fighters. But then they'll be like super high up on Shabransky and shit like that. Like, oh, Shabransky. Like, what? So Terrence Crawford got a bum ass resume, but Shabransky is just all that. Okay, whatever. Right? This is how they do it. When they think the black channels have a chance of winning, they'll minimize it. Right? And they'll find an excuse before the fight happens oftentimes of why. why the black channel, why the black fighter or whatever won. Case in point, a lot of people are leaning towards Deontay Wilder to beat Tyson Fury. What is the number one excuse? They're saying, oh, Tyson Fury, he doesn't have, he took a 2-3 year layoff. You feel me? 2-3 year layoff and came back. He needs 2-3 more tune-ups before Wilder. But these same motherfuckers didn't say that about Vanes Martirosyan. Vanes Martirosyan, you got me making up names and shit. Vanes Martirosyan had a 2-year layoff. Why didn't you talk about them extra? Tyson Fury already has 2 tune-ups before Wilder. So how is that an excuse for Tyson Fury? He needs 4 tune-ups. But then when we was saying Vanes Martirosyan, he has no tune-ups and he's fighting the number 1 middleweight, Gennady Golovkin, with all the belts, most of the belts, right? And they say, no, you just hating, cuz. You just hating Vanes Martirosyan. He good, he went to the Olympics. So Vanes Martirosyan had no tune-ups, and he's moving up in weight, and he has a short training camp, a 2-3 weeks, to prepare for the number 1 middleweight. And then they don't make no excuses for that. So when he gets destroyed like he did, then it's all good. We just supposed to bow down and say, oh, Golovkin, you did the damn thing. You all that for that knockout. But then they making excuses right now why if Deontay Wilder knock out, I'm so frustrated. If he knock out Tyson Fury, how Tyson Fury wasn't himself. He wasn't the same. He needed 4 tune-ups. You see how they play? You see how they try to play ego belly, but it ain't working. It ain't working. Tyson Fury already got 2 tune-ups. He good. And he called out Wilder. He said, Wilder, I'll fight you tomorrow and give me the call. I'll pick up. All right, he picked up. Vanes Martirosyan, he didn't call out Triple G. They called him. That's the difference. And he got no tune-ups. And they in the same division. Wilder and Fury are in the same division. Vanes wasn't in Golovkin's division. But this is the games they play. This is why you see the difference in the new regime. New media versus old media. Because I bring up that type of shit. You know what I mean? They don't bring up that. They don't bring up how they said Vanes Martirosyan, that was a good win for Golovkin, and you're hating if you complain about that fight with no tune-ups and a move up in weight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to be funny. Vanes, he's a cool dude. I met him, but he had gray hair like since the last time I seen him. So I'm like, oh shit, like he had like kind of like a salt and pepper hair. That's how long it had been since I had seen him in the ring, because I don't think he had the gray hair when he fought Lada, because I was at the fight. I don't remember that, and I have a pretty good memory. And then Kennedy Linder, he just added an insult to injury. Here's another inconsistency. He says Wilder should be Fury's tune-up since Wilder's a bum, right? That's what I'm saying. That's why these dudes is trapped, because there's no logic to what they say. They say Wilder's windmill and he sucks and all he has is power. Then why are you fearful that Tyson Fury is going to fight him? Why are you saying Tyson Fury needs more time, more help? Just the same thing they did with Joshua. They say Joshua destroys him. They say Wilder is not as technical. He's sloppy, but Joshua's all that technical. Then why don't you just fight him straight away? Why would you fight the more technical Joseph Parker? So there's obviously something you fear in Wilder. Because why would you fight Joseph Parker instead of building up to it if you really felt that Wilder was the easier fight? Because we all know you don't feel the Wilder is the easier fight. You know what I'm saying? Like here's a little tip. Alpha ego. Let's say I got 4 credit cards. 4 credit cards. They all have balances. Let's say some of your balances are higher, like $5,000. But some of your balances are only $250. What you do with credit is you pay off the small balance. So now instead of having 5 credit cards, you pay the $250 back. And then you manage these ones, and then you chip away at them. So instead of, let's say I had a $5,000 balance, and then one card out of the 5 only had $250. If I have $250 to spend, why not spend it on or let's say $300. if I had 300 to spend, I would put 300 or I put 250 to pay off the card completely. Now I have one less card to worry about. And then I would put 50 towards the $5,000 balance and pay the minimum. Right? So why in boxing, if you felt what Eddie Hearn and AJ said about Parker's the more technical, more difficult fight, then why wouldn't you take care of Wilder first? He's the easier. Why'd you go after Parker? Why would you not try to unify with the easier fight? You know what I mean? Just like you would handle the smaller credit card balance. See, I got bars, man. Analogies for days. We're gonna put this in perspective. Lamar, $5 super chat. Careful, passive student. Your comments before I put you in the hot seat. Shout out to Brent Weary, $25 super chat. I told you we the army, man. Once again, you can't go to these other bum-ass channels saying this stupid shit and expect to see the fan support. They're not getting those super chats because at best, people just want to hear you say whatever you're saying, but nobody believes you. Who's Lamar? Lamar trolling? I'll let y'all handle that. But you're not going to convince me that certain guys are as bad as you make them out to be when I don't feel that way. Like Luis Ortiz. I think literally, Luis Ortiz stands a chance against any heavyweight in the past 5 years or so. Let me check, Hamza. Yo, we got another one from Hamza. He's always supporting. $5 super chat. Shout out to you. Is there a message I need to read? Hold on. It said, yo, this is Hamza S. You killing it right now. Had to keep it real and donate. More coming next week, like I told you earlier this week. Shout out to Ego's Army. We the future of this. See, and this is what they try. They try to make it like we some cult. Like it's a cult. It's not no cult. We just spitting facts. We talking real boxing. Luis Ortiz is the boogeyman of the welterweight. I mean, of the heavyweight division, except for against Wilder, because he already took the test. So, like, we need to, boxing fans, we got to unite. I'm going to start doing, how they have the Shiggy dance challenge? I'm going to start doing the Luis Ortiz challenge. I'm like, Lulu, do you love me? Are you King Kong? Like, we going to do the Luis Ortiz challenge. Oh, okay, let's do it. Be like Ortiz. Hold on, we gotta come up with the Ortiz challenge. You know what I'm saying? Ortiz, are you fighting? Do you want? We have to have the King Kong Ortiz challenge. You say, heavyweights, are you ducking? Are you fighting? We doing the King Kong challenge. Fuck that. And we gonna beat our chest. And we gonna beat you over the chest with this truth. Luis Ortiz is good. And then Eddie Hearn talking about there's no value. Man, let's unpack what he just said. There's no value in fighting Luis Ortiz, but all of a sudden beating Lucas Brown, that's Walmart. That's great value. Stop it. I said that's Walmart products. That's a great value. Stop it. Beating Robert Helenius, that's just the best win. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. Beating Joseph Parker, that's just the best thing that could have happened to Dillian. Like, stop it. The value is this. See, this is what I'm saying. The value is beating somebody that the fans know to be a threat and that could punch your brains out. That's the value. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly all the finance and how much they feel they could get with that and but the ultimate value is the fans. We got to get it back to where the fans matter. Our opinion, our respect. We the ones paying for this stuff. How does this work? We pay, man. All right, let's say I went to Chipotle. And I was like, yeah, I'll take a burrito bowl. And I'm like, I want double chicken. And they put carnitas on my shit. I'm like, nah. I said I want double chicken. And yeah, we gonna give you what we want to give you. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just eat the carnitas. Fuck it. They're like, what type of rice you want? I'll take the cilantro lime. They give me brown rice. I said cilantro lime. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just hungry, so I'll just take it. What kind of beans you want? Give me the pinto, and then they give me black beans. I'm gonna slap the shit out you at that point. You know what I mean? Because you're literally going against everything I say. I tell you I want double chicken, you give me carnitas. I say I want cilantro lime rice, you give me brown rice. I say I want pinto beans, you give me black bean. You know what I'm saying? So that wouldn't work. People would leave that restaurant or fire on your dumbass. Yeah, I can't get the beans I want. You know what I'm saying? You get fucking swung on. Someone would really take flight on your dumbass. Like, now you didn't hear me say chicken, huh? Yeah, I said chicken. You gonna deliberately put the carnitas down. No one's gonna accept that. But in boxing, they want to force feed you. You say chicken, I want chicken, they give you carnitas. That's not the real world. You know what I mean? We got to get boxing back into that scope where this actually makes sense. We provide, UK fans are great, but that don't mean you got to rape them. Yeah, no Vaseline. Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off. Used to be her, now you just wet it off. Heard you was down with the AK. That don't mean you have to take advantage like that. You know what I'm saying? And we're not, listen, I don't want people to feel new media, and I know it's not going to get perceived like this. It's not no radical group where it's just pure anarchy or some shit. We're realistic. Nobody had a problem with Joshua becoming a new champion, fighting Dominic Breazeale for a title defense, Eric Molina. We was good with all that because in between becoming a champion and getting some experience, you fought Klitschko. Cool. Then you went back to, Kubrat Pulev and he pulled out. Then you fought Carlos Takam. And then the shit talking started with you and Wilder. And it started to crescendo. Now the fight, you said you wanted to fight him. He said he wanted to fight you. Boom. This is where we're at. So people are realistic. Nobody's saying he had to fight Klitschko and then Joseph Parker and then Tyson Fury and then Deontay. Nobody said that. You've had in-between fights. Shout out to Real Brother 32 for $15 super chat. It said Ego Valley the Dawn, just showing that weekend love, my dude. Shout out to you. Shout out to Lamar, Hamza S, and Brent Wary for the constant and consistent support. Keep spitting facts. Ego, new media, mafia, knowledge is power. And we spreading that knowledge and we spreading that power, and we only getting stronger. So I just feel like all that stuff is like Eddie Hearn, he's almost in full promoter mode and AKA denial. He knows Joshua's stock, but he's trying to relegate it in this interview. He's trying to make it sound as if it's just a couple of angry, disgruntled boxing fans. It's not that. I'm seeing droves of people who are upset with Joshua right now. Again, how come nobody's treating Golovkin like this right now? Because he's fighting Canelo. He didn't fail no drug test. Why would anyone, win, lose, or draw, why would anyone be mad at Golovkin? He felt he beat Canelo. Now he's fighting him again. He didn't fail no drug test. Looks like he's training for the fight. What would we be mad at him for? Terrence Crawford. He was undisputed. He could have sat there and tried to fight Regis Prograis and Jose Ramirez, guys he would probably be favored to beat because he had more experience than them, and he's a very good fighter. He said, you know what? I did the damn thing, accomplished what I needed to at 140. I'm going to give my body a rest and go up to 47 and do damage. First fight, you fought the guy that beat Pacquiao. Whether you thought he did or didn't, his belt at the time showed that he did. You know what I mean? And he was confident because he felt in his mind that he did. And he's rugged and big puncher, blah, blah, blah. Crawford destroyed him. Right? Daniel Jacobs, he's going on this October to fight his 4th undefeated fighter in a row. Who's doing that in boxing? And he had the little dialogue with Charlo, so he showed he ain't no punk, and he'll go to the situation directly, right? And he beat cancer. What's not to like? Sergey Derevyanchenko, he was about that life. He was down to fight Golovkin. Golovkin passed up on him, so now he's fighting Jacobs, his stablemate. They could have easily said, "Oh, that's my buddy. I'm not fighting him." They're not doing that. They fighting each other despite friendships, despite having the same trainer, right? Billy Joe Saunders, he got flack for pulling out of the Martin Murray fight, but now he's in a better fight, in a more dangerous fight with Demetrius Andrade. Andrade got flack for being inactive. He got a new promoter situation. Now he's in a good fight, the best fight that arguably of his career, or at least since Vanis or something. Nobody's complaining about these guys. You know why? Because they're at the right points of their career and they're doing right by the fans. You know what I mean? Even John Molina, Victor Ortiz, I didn't really see nobody like, "Yeah, John, you son of a bitch, John." They're not mad at John Molina. He's trying to stay active. It looks like he's flexing his weight because I don't think Victor Ortiz can make no damn 140. So I'm assuming the fight's happening at 47. John Molina fought Broner, Terrence Crawford, Mickey Bay. He's about to fight Victor Ortiz. He fought against Lucas Matisse. You know what I mean? Ivan Redcatch. Win, lose, or draw. He's clearly Hank Lundy. The motherfucker's down to scrap. And who's mad at John Molina? Nobody. Like, is anyone saying John Molina is like the pound for pound #1 guy? No. But he ain't ducking no fades. Somebody tried to convince me that John Molina ain't with it, and he's not a gladiator. His name is a gladiator for a reason. Win, lose, or draw, he going out there. Matisse, Broner, Terrence Crawford, about to fight Victor Ortiz, Hank Lundy, right? Who else did John Molina fight? I know I'm forgetting some people. He fought Ruslan Provodnikov, Ivan Redcatch. I know I'm missing somebody, I feel. I said Broner. Sura 47M, $5. Always good stuff, Ego Army till the world blow up. Let's get it, man. I'm ready. And see, y'all motivate me because I know y'all like that real talk. You want me to talk that talk and that real. So why? Because I got to be thug. Like, I'm Ego Valley. I can't cower down and, do some stupid shit. But my point being, Eddie Hearn is like almost in denial with Joshua Stock. Because you can't tell me that if I go to Joshua's page right now, it's going to look like Daniel Jacobs' page. And Joshua's the bigger star. But, people confuse popularity with respect. Just because you're popular don't mean you're respected. You know what I mean? That's like saying McDonald's has the best burgers because they sell 1 million burgers a day. That's cool. Obviously somebody's eating it, but that don't mean you the fucking tastiest burger. We know that. I could think of several burgers that taste better than a McDonald's burger. I don't even eat burgers from McDonald's typically. You know what I mean? But that's the logic of some of these AJ protectors. Like he has 3 belts and he sold a stadium. That's cool. That's good for him. But that's not increasing the respect. The way to increase the respect, you do things, like past greats have done. Q Ward says, I'm sure you already covered this, Ego, but Eddie Hearn is consistently contradicting himself, and there's constantly a double standard. Flat out lying, man. He signed Ortiz strictly to protect AJ from him. Ego's Army. And the thing is, they try to come and discourage me. I'm not easily discouraged. Talking about, you're killing your channel. All right, I'm killing my channel, but all of my stats and this paycheck says the opposite. So until that changes, I don't believe you. Oh, you're killing, your channel's going down, and you struggling. And here's another reason that I know you're lying. Aside from the money, because we could talk big bank, take little bank all day. You know what I mean? Oh, you're killing your channel. I'm killing your channel, but Ego's Army is supporting with super chat after super chat. You know what I mean? The regular pay, like, so we could talk that. We could talk that stunt gang shit if y'all really want. But beyond that is, look at the workflow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not discouraged. Like, I'm not like not showing face and not making video. They can't do, the people that was saying crazy stuff, they can't do what I do. They can't just do a live stream and have any type of audience. And if they did, the audience would probably be going in on them because they've been dead wrong. You get what I'm saying? I show my face all the time. I'm always doing videos. My workflow has not ceased or stopped because I'm that comfortable in what I've done and put out there. I'm not out here making shit up to make people look bad. If you look bad on your own, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? We just the army, people. And we just gonna keep getting stronger and stronger. And people, I think people doubt us maybe. I don't know. But the proof is in the pudding. And you can't just, you're not gonna be able to just convince the world of the narrative that you want when we all know that that's not the truth. You know what I mean? And that's what they've done to these fighters for so long. Oh, Luis Ortiz, nobody knows him. But everyone knew who Robert Helenius was. And see, the worst part is, as a consumer, in my opinion, DAZN, if they captured Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz, that would be top 3, one of the best fights that I've heard of announced for that platform, if it happened. So that would be a great vehicle to help your platform, and it'd be a meaningful fight for the heavyweight division, because there's only a few guys who are on the cusp. Tyson Fury, he's already getting a title shot again. So beyond that, there's only a couple, guys who can make a case that they're ready right now for a title shot. That's probably like Gerald Big Baby Miller, Luis Ortiz, and Dillian Whyte. So if 2 of them fight each other and knock them off, then that helps us to rationalize who's who and where everyone stands. You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz, I would literally, that's a good fight to me. I would literally pay for that, like or pay for the DAZN or whatever for that. You know what I mean? I think that's a great fight. Real brother at Ego, should I start donating via PayPal rather through YouTube? If they are taking a part of your super chat, let me know. I can adjust accordingly. Nah, because PayPal takes a chunk too. Or not a chunk. I made it sound like there was a shark or something. But they all take a percentage. So it don't matter. You know what I mean? So this is probably easier. Yeah, I mean, and see, this is the other thing is, like, Wilder, some of y'all forget that Ortiz was with Matchroom. And when he got signed, people were happy. Yeah, and they put him against UK guys like Dave Allen. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even pull that card like, oh, everyone knew Joseph Parker from the Joshua fight. But Luis Ortiz was fighting on Anthony Joshua undercards when he was with Matchroom. So people know of him as well. Plus the Wilder fight did over 1 million views. And if you didn't watch it live, I'm sure you probably caught up if you're a real boxing fan. So you can't even use nobody knows Luis Ortiz. That's what I'm saying. The walls are closing in. All these excuses and they don't work anymore.
2 feet later and still looks like new. Long-lasting PPG paint.
Back game for the first time.
He didn't have to fight Joseph Parker. It was a really good fight, and I think he just feels like, look, I want to fight. I'm number 1 in the WBC. I'm WBC silver champion. We've been making you offers for 2 years, but of course he's going to fight Fury over Whyte.
Now, why is he number one in silver and not the mandatory? How is it that Eric Molina and Brazil ends up in the mandatory?
WBC made a mistake, in my opinion. And I think they accept that mistake, but it's too late. So what's happened is Dominic Brazil was supposed to fight Stavern in what would be a final eliminator, because Stavern was already number one, okay? So they all signed up to that. All of a sudden, Stavern pulled out the fight, and with a couple of weeks to go, they made...
There's a correction. He says Stavern pulled out the fight. No, he didn't pull out in that. He made it sound like he just pulled out. He got elevated to the main event. See, you know, I noticed when Eddie Hearn does that slick talk where he'll say something and he'll purposely say it so ambiguous that one who wasn't familiar would assume the worst, kind of. Like, he's like, oh, and then Bermane Stavern pulled out, and then he just kept going. So the way he said it, one would be inclined to believe that Bermane Stavern like pulled out with the injury or disgusted with his team and no longer wanted to fight. That's not what happened. Luis Ortiz failed a drug test. He was getting paid step aside money with Wilder, and since Luis Ortiz failed his drug test, that fight got canceled. And instead of him being a mandatory or fighting to become a mandatory or keep his mandatory, he got elevated to the main event because they had to save, you know, they already had the Barclay booked up, and he got knocked out. But see, I noticed Eddie Hearn does those little slick things where he'd be like, oh yeah, Joshua, he's a national icon. We sold nearly 80,000. I mean, what's nearly? You know, like 79,000, 72,000. What's nearly? You know, that could be anything. You could have sold 86 tickets and then talking about some nearly.
The Eric Molina fight. And the WBC decided to still make it a final eliminator, but only for Dominic Brazil. Right? So Brazil wins,
And Eddie Hearn also says a lot of information that you don't need. He says the WBC decided to make Eric Molina fight only for Dominic Brazil. But guess what? It doesn't matter if that's true or not. I never heard of that. But even if it is true, Dominic Brazil knocked out Eric Molina. So who cares? It's like, who cares if Eric Molina, if he won, wouldn't have been a mandatory? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because he didn't win. Eric Molina got stopped. You get what I'm saying? So that's, to me, that's like an unnecessary point to even make. Oh, WBC made only a mandatory for Dominic Brazil. Who cares? He won. So it's not like Eric Molina won and that was the reality. That wasn't. But I never even heard of that. But even if it's true.
he's the mandatory. But we asked the WBC to confirm before that was not the case, and they confirmed it to us and to the media that it wasn't a final eliminator. Well, I'm getting confused now. So anyway, they put out Dillian Whyte fight Ortiz in a second eliminator to be the second mandatory. So I got on to Maurizio Sullivan. What do you mean a second mandatory? We're number one. We've been paying sanction fees for 3 years with the WBC to get Dillian Whyte to this position. Oh, we've got this problem with Brazil, blah, blah, blah. So I said, so what are you going to do? So he said, we're going to make Brazil the mandatory for Wilder now. This was 4 months ago. And then after that, you fight Ortiz and you'll be the mandatory after that. I said, what, like 2 years down the line? Oh, no, because we're going to call the Brazil mandatory now. Of course, this was in February. They still haven't called the Brazil mandatory. Brazil's going mad. They're not going to call it till December. So, like, what would be the point in fighting Ortiz?
Yeah, but what happened to all your sanctioning fees, all the money that you paid to get you to that part?
We're still not.
Even now that you're fighting in the WBO in Shankton?
We're not. We still defended the silver belt and we fought for the WBO International. So, yeah, it doesn't make any difference. But it's bizarre that you can be number one for like a year and a half.
So Fury saying that Dillian Whyte is the coward for not fighting Ortiz is...
It's just like there's no value. He could fight Parker, move up the WBO rankings, and for more money than fighting Ortiz, which is a very risky fight. If that fight was for a mandatory position of Deontay Wilder, trust me.
You see? He just told you. He said it's a risky fight, but there's no point to fight him. Like, that... What? What? There's no point to fight Ortiz, because he'll make more money fighting Joseph Parker. See, and you know what the other thing is? How are you so sure? Like, I never understood that. Like, how are you so sure that Joseph Parker, he makes so much more money fighting Parker than fighting against Ortiz? Like, Ortiz got a standing ovation in LA at his last fight against Raz Cojano. I was there. Ask anybody who is in the Staples Center. I was ringside. Ask anybody who is in there and tell me that they didn't give it up for Luis Ortiz. I was actually surprised that they gave it up to him like that. I was like, damn, he got hella cheers. You know what I'm saying? So how do you even know that? But beyond that, we're still talking about money. Of course, these guys have to make money, but getting the fans' respect, that'll make you more money in the long run. You get what I'm saying? So let's say, I don't know how much Dillian Whyte gets paid, but let's say he got $1 million for, hypothetically, say he got $1 million for Parker, and he got $725,000 for Ortiz. Yeah, you got more money up front, but you got more respect in the long run, and respect carries you a long way. Your name, your brand, your reputation precedes you. If you beat and knock out Luis Ortiz, like he said he could, he said, I'll knock out that old man. If that's the case, then you'll get the people to respect you. Because, once again, Luis Ortiz, they both lost, Joseph Parker and Luis Ortiz. But I don't know anyone out there who's willing to suggest that Luis Ortiz did not have the sharper loss, the more respectable loss. You know what I'm saying? So, how are you gonna say it's no value to fight him? We don't believe that. There's no value to fight, but there's all the value to fight Lucas Brown, who failed drug tests too. Looking shaky, baby. But this is what they try to do. Act like there's no point to fight Luis Ortiz. And you know what? Eddie Hearn's just all over the place, man. It's really exhausting at the end of the day. How is it like now? Okay, why'd you sign Luis Ortiz? You get what I'm saying? This was just a couple years ago. Just analyze this, like Billy Crystal. Analyze this. Analyze that. After Golden Boy dropped Luis Ortiz, or that relationship fizzled, Eddie Hearn picked up on a case-by-case, couple fight basis, Luis Ortiz. At that point, Luis Ortiz hadn't challenged Wilder or anyone the caliber of Wilder. So why did you sign him years ago when he didn't have the name like a champion like Wilder on his resume? You get what I'm saying? But then now that he got the fans' respect by giving Wilder problems and, putting on a hell of a performance, now you're saying there's no value. So he had value when he was fighting the Tony Thompsons of the world after Golden Boy dropped him and he had more inactivity and shit like that. He had enough value for you to sign him. But then now that he gave Wilder all those issues and over 1 million people watched it and everybody gave respect to both of them, and probably the respect grew for Wilder and Luis Ortiz, seeing what they both went through and put each other through. Now all of a sudden he don't have value. You see, it's unbelievable what they tried to pass as logical, if you will. Jack Hard, you in the hot seat. No one in England knows Ortiz. Press conference, no English. The casuals don't know Ortiz. You got to be one stupid motherfucker. How you get fired on your day off? Let me get this dude. All right. What's a better fight as a boxing fan? Joseph Parker coming off a Joshua loss, or Luis Ortiz coming off of the Wilder loss? Come on, Jack. Don't let us down. Jack Hard. See, this is what happens. These dudes start taking so long. Say what again? Y'all better rewind. I'm not saying nothing again. He heard me. You see? Hey, shooter, count to 10 and block him. Count to 10 and block him. I'm not waiting all day. They say this stuff and then they just disappear into the abyss. Jack, you got 8 seconds, my friend. Jack hard. Shooters, strap up. 5 seconds. Jack hard, where's your final answer? 3 seconds. Jack hard, we need something. 2 seconds. 1 second. Shooter, handle that. Jack hard. Get him up out of here. See, another drive-by. Another drive-by. That's all they do. Just drive-by. Oh, you're by. No one knows him. Can't explain nothing. You know, nobody in the UK knows who Luis Ortiz is, but he was signed to Matchroom. And he fought on UK cards, on Anthony Joshua cards in the UK. But now they forgot what he did 2 years ago at the end. He fought December 10th, 2016. That's one of them for sure. I know the date off the top of my head because I was covering another fight on that date. And that was on an Anthony Joshua, Eric Molina card. And it was the same card where they had Klitschko jump in the ring. See, I'm a robot with this shit. December 10th, 2016. And he was on that card. So, UK fans forgot. And it's, you know, been a year and a half. And they already forgot who he was. Stop it. Yet they know fucking Cannon Briggs, who hasn't had a fight in I don't even know how long. And they show Cannon Briggs mad love. Let's go, champ. They doing all that. So they know who he is, but they don't know a guy more active who just did 1 million+ views with Wilder. Get these bums out of here, man. That's all they do is lie, and I'm out. I'm about to go get some lunch. Holla at the kid, man. Thank you guys for the super chats, all the support. We just gonna keep working. This don't stop. Nobody knows who Ortiz is. If you scared, go to church. If you scared, just say you scared. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just say, I'm terrified. We might not like it, but we'll get over it, I guess. Yes. It's only 3:30 for me. I don't know what I'm gonna eat for lunch. Probably eat these haters' heart out. The man fans. I want their hearts. I'm gonna eat their kids. Looking shaky, baby. Looky, baby. Hey, you looking shaky, baby. These dudes looking shaky out here. Hey, they looking real shaky, nigga. They looking real shaky, man. Holla at the kid.